Hey guys, this is a update of my Red Sea Reefer 34. It's been a while since I've done my latest update, and the reason why is I've just been extremely busy with the little toddler running around and just didn't have a chance to create another video that actually could have some quiet in the house while I could film. Things are pretty much less fish nowadays. I only have the 3 clownfish and the little guy in the background. I do apologize, I got my all blues going so you can see the coral a little better, but got the Tanaka Pygmy Wrasse that's floating around in the background. That's the only 4 fish that I do have in the tank, and I don't really have much anything else. So just keeping it very simple, less fish. Clownfish are loving the anemones. You can see they're moving back and forth, especially the little guy. You probably see me thinking I'm going to give him some food, but a little too early. I just turned on the lights to do the video. But let's start with the anemones that you see here. Let's go to this guy over here. This is a Chicago Sunburst Anemone. I had over about a little over a year and a half, closer to roughly. In that time, actually naturally split twice for me, which was great because I made my money back on this anemone. These things go between, well, you could get them between $1,000 to $1,500, sometimes $2,000, depending on the size. But you know, I had this guy, you know, naturally split for me, so I was able to capitalize on that and recoup some of the money I spent on this hobby. The other anemone here, he's the newer edition, and this is the Colorado Sunburst Anemone, which kind of more of a brighter anemone. It's hard to see on this phone, but it's like more of a yellowish. The Chicago is like a subdued rosy color to golden tips, which is beautiful. It has its unique shade color to it, and the Chicago is more of a bright, but the Chicago tends to change more color as it grows and matures. Same thing with the Chicago, but this one's a mature one. But this guy is still new in the tank. There's a lot of people that say that these 2 anemones cannot be in the same tank. So hopefully these 2 anemones play nice and there's no chemical warfare, which I've heard. I run a lot of carbon right now just to keep the, you know, filter out the chemicals in the water. And so far these guys are nice and fully extended and very happy, and so far, no problems. There is some success out there with these 2 anemones being in the same tank, but there's also horror stories about how the Chicago killed this Colorado or vice versa. I guess it goes to the most established anemone in the tank, but I heard that the Chicago wins most of the time. But hopefully my tank, I'm one of those lucky few that could get them to live in the same tank happily. But I'll keep you guys updated. I just love the colors of these anemones, and they're, you know, they're high end, and if they ever split, you can make your money back on these guys very quickly. They don't stay on the market too long. So let me go back with this, hard to see, but this is a Christmas tree rock. It's actually very colorful, but with the blue lights you don't really see much, just to look like the worms in the background. You can see they tuck in when you get the little, I try to tap the glass, but they're getting used to the tank a little bit. And over here is the newest thing out there right now is the gold tip Elegance coral. I took a small frag and see how it does in my tank, and so far so good. It's very bright, nice tips. A little hard to see in the video here because of the blue lights. I just put it on because the anemones really glow with that. Still my mushroom rocks I had for a while. This is a bounce mushroom that really it's really having a tough time, but I've been slowly feeding it and it's kind of rebounding a little bit. This is, I think, is a fire bounce mushroom or something like that. Very cool. Has like a orange and green in it and yellow in the polyps. Over here is the Japanese willow toadstool. These things are harder to get because in Japan imports are illegal, but somehow they make their way to the marketplace. But this guy is very bright, and it just took a while because it fell off the place it was on, and finally it attached itself on a piece of rock. So it's been sitting in the corner, low flow, and I'm about to put him back in the main stream of the tank so it has more flow. But he seems to be very happy right there, so maybe just leave him there. Over here is a gold torch. It's not the premium grade, but it's a gold torch. If you're in the market right now for these things, they skyrocketed in price. But they used to be very cheap. Now they go for $400 a head. They used to be like $100 a head, $75 a head a few years ago. So just the way the hobby's been, a lot of the corals are harder to get. A lot of places closed down collecting, and prices have been skyrocketing. So more aquaculture, like coral and fish, have been out in the market, and that's been hopefully offsetting the wild ones. My little red carpet anemone is doing good, and this is a jawbreaker. It's hard to see, but it has a little green speck right there. If you probably focus on it, you can see it right there in the video, but very small there. Goniopora there. Has this little mushroom here, which is growing a baby. A couple of Dendros. Those are hard to get. Well, not hard to get, but they're very expensive. I have one there that's had there for a while, but I got a new one over here, which is came in better. Believe it or not, this one came like this. I'm trying to feed it almost every other day to get it to grow back on the coral, but I did get him like this. It's been like that for a while, but hopefully he gets more established. And the other thing I have here is, it's hard to see with this, obviously, this color, but the little Maxima clam, little 2-incher. But that's pretty much it in this tank. It's not much going on. You can see the pygmy wrasse over here. He's just hanging out. Beautiful colors, but if I change the lighting, you'll see a little better. But again, the anemones really are the coolest thing. I try to keep coral to a minimum because these anemones do get big during the day, and it gives them time, space to grow. This Chicago really gets huge. I mean, it takes pretty much this whole piece of rock here that's vacant and climbs up on here too. Not climbs, but attaches itself while it's open and really displays itself. But since I just turn on the light, you don't really see it. Outside of that, again, very, very simple in this tank. Not much going on anymore, but I keep it very small and simple, and it seems to be working out. And just my maintenance is less because there's just less fish, and do feedings every other day now just to keep the levels down with the phosphate, so I don't have no hair allergy problem. Outside of that, guys, I hope your tanks are doing well. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But hope your tanks are doing well. Happy reefing, and hopefully we'll get another update sooner than later.